3/4 home from the start to the end, and I wish I was 18 again. I wish I was 18 again.
Hey there, friends and family. It's Dan. I'm here with the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with us. It is December 7th, 2025, and I want to be alive. It is a Sunday. As always, I'm joined here by my festive co-host, Adam.
Once again, ho, ho, ho. I got a bowl full of jelly. Hey, Dan, what's up?
Doing okay. Wait, did you ask me how I am? Fuck. Uh-oh. George Burns is back.
No, man.
I tried with that intro, guys. You know, sometimes it's not going to hit. Sometimes I don't have it in me. But how you guys doing? How's Spaghetti doing? We got Spaghetti back on the podcast.
Yeah, glad to have me. I woke up this morning and I was 40. And I was 40 yesterday. So. But I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
We missed you last week on the Ernest episode.
I know.
Ernest Saves Christmas. We were just talking about that before the show started, but just wanted to bring it up. We missed you, brother, and yes, Ernest will return. And we before the podcast, we kind of hashed out. We have a little bit of a schedule, so
yeah,
hopefully we'll have you back on for those.
Yeah, Ernest is definitely my wheelhouse, and lots of fond memories watching Jim Varney as Mr. Ernest P. Worrell, and disappointed I wasn't able to make it. I had full intentions to do so, but I dropped the ball on my end. But I'm glad that you guys extended the offer, and I will make it up in the future.
Bro, I was telling Adam, I think Spaghetti is just really like stressed out. I think he's really busy. I don't think he's going to be on this week. And I was like, he's posting shit like this. And I was just posting some of the memes we were sharing. And I was like, this is stuff that would be normal if I shared it. But I'm like, Spaghetti's sharing it. He must be going through something.
Yeah, my Decembers are rough and tumble. I got a full house. So it's just. I was
telling Adam, you're like the dad from Donnie Darko.
Yeah. I mean, there's 3 kiddos and they're all doing stuff. And it's all like. Just, school holiday performances, and this year's especially crazy because I got a senior in high school and a 8th grader, and so there's like 2 different it's just pivotal years, and it's tuck and roll. So yeah, we're doing it though.
I'm so happy you made time for us. You included Dan and Adam in your schedule, and I appreciate that. And so does our audience. Our audience probably misses you. We have listeners, guys. I don't know if you guys know this. There are actually people listening to this.
That's crazy.
If you're out there, I appreciate you. Yeah.
I can't imagine who listens to this show, but let me just say I'm glad that there's people out there.
Sorry, I'm like fucking around on my board. What are you guys doing for Christmas this year? You guys have any like Christmas plans?
I think I'm going over again to the in-laws, and then weirdly, I think my mom is doing something post, because there's like so many different houses people go to now. So like my mom, we're gonna hit her up like 2 days after Christmas.
Yeah, we were talking about like, are we gonna get together on Christmas or a different day? Because I think it's like on Thursday this week.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yep, it is.
So yeah, I'll be in right there on Friday. I'll be back to work on Friday.
Yeah.
Oh damn, you got to go back to work on Friday, huh?
I imagine so.
Man.
Maybe not.
No rest for, I guess.
No.
Dan's illegal.
Spoilers. I don't work.
You better start talking.
Doxing me on my own show. Adam, where do you work?
I work for the FBI. No, I think I've mentioned where I've worked before on this show, so we can't go rehashing old news.
He shakes his ass on stage.
Yeah.
Shake your ass. Watch yourself.
I'm proud of him. I let him know that every day.
I'm breaking gender
Every time-
norms.
I put $1 in his G-string like I would anybody's.
And I earned that $1.
Yeah.
Only $1 though. Yeah. Kick it up a notch. All right. I guess I do have some topics. It's episode 78. I just guessed. Yeah, it's episode 78, which is awesome because there's lots of 8s going on right now. 18 again, 1988. Yes, yet again, we're going to be talking about a 1988 movie this week. The only topics ahead of time I really have here is our reviews. I wanted to go ahead and shout out people who have left us reviews. I feel like I should have done this a long time ago. So, Adam, if you want to navigate yourself to the Apple Podcasts website for Dan and Adam landing pad, let's go ahead and read some reviews from our awesome people who have left us reviews. I noticed recently we had a review from someone named Albert Cater on November 20th. Gummo, Trash Humpers, The Swimmer. No psychotic laughter, no childish jokes, no weird affect to their speaking styles, just intelligent discussion. Excellent work, guys. I appreciate you, Albert. I think it's funny that a lot of these, some of these are definitely our friends, which is fine. But I feel like there are similar themes that get hit over and over again, which is we got big brains. We got the biggest brains with the smallest spoons.
Sorry, I was looking up reviews and I heard you say smallest spoons.
Yeah, it's a shout out to the plastic spoon in our brain comment we talked about on the show. I don't remember the episode. Hopefully someone does.
Yeah, we all got some plastic up in us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and read us the next one, Adam.
These guys, or no, let's see. Obscura Head says these guys are legit, sincere, actually funny and intelligent. No extreme ironic detachment and no antiquated pretentiousness. I look for this kind of thing and rarely find it. So thank you. And I have to say, thank you for like I do worry sometimes though. Like people are saying like no weird affect to their voice, but we both know I don't think this is my normal talking voice. I don't know how to do
normal talking voice.
Hello,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Obscura Head. If you're listening and you're leaving a review, that's awesome. And I think we do pride ourselves on trying to be genuine and sincere in our film discussions. I do, we checked out a podcast this week, and what do we say? Conflicting or we're at war with another podcast. A24 on the rocks. Your days are numbered, friends. If you're listening to this, no, I'm just kidding. But we have different podcasts, and I see it because that's one big thing is like you listen to a show like that, everyone's kind of being ironic. You know what I mean? The entire time. It's kind of funny. I'm just boosting my ego here. I think that's great. I think that's we aimed for that. We were like, hey, we should be sincere and not just fucking annoying. I'll read the next one. This one's from MJ Brennan, our buddy MJ. Hey MJ, if you're listening, we love you. But left us a nice review here. He says, Dan and Adam Are Afraid is a must for cinephiles drawn to the fringe, an essential listen for anyone obsessed with the obscure, underappreciated films and the beautiful chaos of cult cinema. Their fondness for Harmony Korine runs deep, and it shows. Smart, strange, and full of heart. Highly recommended. Thank you, MJ. Obviously, we love MJ.
Oh la la.
Yeah, everyone go listen go check out some Baby Invasion again if you want to hear some MJ.
Yeah, some Beach Bum is on our biggest episode of all time, by the way. 1,500 views on YouTube for Ken Park. That's pretty big for us.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Check it out. Spaghetti's also on that episode.
Yep.
And then Adam, read this last one from our dear friend Eddie Fonzarelli.
Eddie Fonzarelli says, this is a great podcast about great movies. So much fun to listen to with great movies to revisit and discover. Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I like to think that we have like an A tier selection of movies on this podcast.
I think we do. I think we cover like legitimately cool movies. I mean, they're obscure, they're weird. So like, if you rock with us, you're gonna have to be in for some weird fucking shit. Because I think most people like will watch one weird movie a year and be like, that was really weird.
Yeah.
And like we just nonstop talk about weird movies on the
Yeah.
show. And at least we're not talking about A24 movies all the time. Can you imagine we were just talking about all right, this week we're talking about Slice.
Yeah.
We would never do that. All right. That is it. I just wanted to quickly read off some Apple reviews there. I don't think I could find any other reviews immediately. I'll look around for next week and maybe we'll do this again. But go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video, all the things. And leave a review and we'll read it on the show. That is my guarantee to you. Now, we're gonna keep this train rolling. I had another topic on here, but I'm gonna skip it for now. Adam can see it, and he's like, "You sick fuck." Let's just get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's slide right in. It is episode 78, folks. Adam, we watched a movie this week, and I guess it's my turn to tell what it is. It's George Burns week. We're doing our annual George Burns holiday special, which, I mean, I guess I did hint this was coming, and we kind of been planning it. But this is kind of what we do now. We watch a George Burns movie in around December, around New Year's usually. We're doing it a little bit earlier to make sure we can fit Spaghetti in here. But yeah, George Burns. I'm excited to talk about another one. I got my festive background here with George Burns. It says "Do It for Him" in the Simpsons style. It's flipped for my friends, but for you guys at home, you'll be able to see it. If you check the Instagram, follow Instagram, Dan's Night Out. I don't know. I have a lot to say, but I love George Burns, and I'm excited that we're all together to discuss one more. And we'll get into it this week. It's episode 78. We're talking about 18 Again from 1988.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
Happy birthday to you.
George Burns is Jack Watson, ladies' man.
Do you think she's a little too young for you? Look, I'd go out with women my age, but there are no women my age.
And birthday boy.
I wish I could do it again because I had that much fun.
But this year, he's celebrating
Grandpa!
in his grandson David's body.
Are you all right?
Fine.
What the hell happened to my voice?
Do you believe that a person can go from one body to another? Charlie, I got my wish. I'm 18 again.
He thinks like George Burns,
Maybe you'd rather be hang gliding or something.
What, with my arthritis?
but he looks a lot younger.
You got any decent cognac in this place?
Now he's going back to school.
Do you have a problem?
Do you realize the last time I saw a naked lady?
Last Thursday.
Meeting the student body,
But you said you didn't want to dance.
and having the time of his life.
Okay, my spin is a little off.
The second time around.
Well, you're honest at least.
What am I doing? I'm cheating on my own grandson.
You had it all. And now you really have it all.
George Burns,
Come back. I can't wait.
Do you mind if I finish this cigar?
Charlie Slatter,
Anything else you want to know, Professor? Don't hesitate to ask.
18 again.
Yes, 18 Again. It's a 1988 American fantasy comedy film directed by Paul Flaherty and starring George Burns and Charlie Schlatter. Again, I'll just say it up top. It's episode 78. Thanks for joining us for another George Burns spectacular. We're talking about 18 Again from 1988. And this feel-good body switchers comedy aging worldly wise businessman Jack Watson swaps bodies with his grandson David in the wake of an automobile accident. George Burns shines in his final leading role. Some taglines from the movie. His mind was 81. His body was 18. When Jack Watson found his fountain of youth, it overflowed with comedy. Go ahead and read the next one for me, Adam.
George Burns as Jack Watson. He always wanted to be 18 again. He got his wish.
Be careful what you wish for. It just might come true. Let's start up top. 18 again. Have either of you guys seen this one before?
No. I'd never even heard of this movie.
Nope. First time.
We could pull up the chats, but I think Spaghetti, you were the one who introduced this movie to the podcast. You said, hey, check this out, right? You sent me a YouTube trailer?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were just like rambling around about George Burns like we, do in Commonplace. And we were talking about Oh God, and we're like, what's the next kind of good George Burns movie? And I think this popped up.
Yeah, and I didn't realize at the time, but this is his last starring role, final starring role for George Burns. Kind of screwed the pooch here. It's a weird phrase, but
oh no,
damn, this is it. So there's a couple more movies from here where he has small parts, but we're gonna be going back in time for future years on this.
Yeah.
So enjoy it while you got it. This is his last starring role, and you can tell he's quite old.
Yeah, I did the math. I think he's 92 years old.
Yeah. Man was born in 1896. That is, like, when I was looking that up, I was like, 80. This is an 81st birthday, right? In this movie, like his character. But I was like,
technically,
is that how old he is? And then I was like, oh my God, he's not 81. Yeah. They aged him down.
Yeah.
I have a note here. George Burns played an 81-year-old, though he was actually 91 during the filming. So 1 year younger, but 91. Yeah. He's still old as shit.
Yeah.
Like, most people are going to be lucky to make it to 91. George Burns was still starring in major motion pictures at 91 years old.
Still smoking cigars and bagging baddies.
He's like, I smoked 10 cigars.
Yeah, he lived to be 102 months old. 100 years and 2 months old. So,
God, that just shows you, man. Like, it does not. Genetics is like the big thing.
Yeah,
you just need to have good genes
and cigars,
like Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. You just gotta get those genes that Sydney has, and you're set.
I'll just mention Charlie Schlatter was 22 during the filming.
Oh, okay. I don't know. My wife saw the cover and she was like, "That 18-year-old is 30." And so it's nice. It's nice 22. To know he was actually closer to age. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Spaghetti know that David Schlatter from All American Murder, Vinegar Syndrome movie from the 80s. It stars the chick from the Umberto Lenzi Florida movie with the old lady, guy obsessed with old ladies. Hitcher in the Dark. Oh. But All American Murder. That's how I know this guy. And
then
I imagine no one else knows who he is. Unless you've seen All American Murder, you have no clue who Charlie Schlatter is, right? We'll get into it. So this is directed by Paul Flaherty. Are you guys familiar with Paul Flaherty?
I looked him up, and I've seen his two other movies. I think he's an SCTV guy. Second City Television. Yeah, he's a big TV guy. So this was his feature film debut, having started with a 1986 Billy Crystal live stand-up special titled "Don't Get Me Started." Yeah, a couple of years earlier. He went on to direct 1989's "Who's Harry Crumb" and 1994's cult classic Clifford, starring Martin Short, Charles Grodin, and Mary Steenburgen. Blah. That's one we need to talk about on this show. According to Google, he is still alive at 80 years old, nearly as old as George Burns is portrayed in this very film. At the end of his career, he wrote for TV shows such as The Martin Short Show, The Wayne Brady Show, Primetime Glick, and a show called All the Comforts in 2008. But SCTV as well. I wasn't familiar with that stuff, so I didn't really mention it.
if you want to jump in and talk about that. But you appear to be frozen and you're just staring into my soul, so I don't know.
Uh-oh. Sir, a second spaghetti has hit the building and left the podcast. He'll be back, folks. Don't worry. He'll be back. You won't even know he's gone, actually.
This is the scariest thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hopefully he knows he can just log back in. Hopefully his computer didn't completely...
no.
His computer erupted in flames.
He's burning.
Oh no, he messaged me. All right, let's see. My CPU just died.
Oh no.
All good. All good. You did say my cousin just died.
Wait, what? Why is that? Is that funny?
Because he corrected himself and said CPU, and I said just needs to be plugged in, and he said not cousin.
Yeah. No, that was weird. Autocorrect. Yeah. No, out of nowhere. So I'm checking my battery, and out of nowhere, my computer just died. And so that was bizarre. I apologize.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
But then
dude.
I turned my computer back on. My recorder's still working, so I just checked. It's recording right now. It shut off when you were talking about Paul Flaherty. You said who's or Harry Crumb, and then it just went off. So if that's where you want to start back, that was the weirdest thing in my life. Because this is sometimes an older computer, and so if the battery's not if it's not plugged in properly, it'll just shut off, obviously, but it's charged. So, but then on my phone, it said my cousin died.
It just got dark really fast.
We'll make it work, man. As long as you have a recording at the end, even if you don't, it'll be novel, but we'll figure it out. It's fine.
So, I left you at when you were talking. You said, "Who's afraid of Harry Crumb?"
Yeah, and then I said 1994's cult classic.
Yeah, that was weird.
Starring Martin Short, Mary Groden, I just said we should talk about Clifford on the show. According to Google, he's 80 years old. He's nearly as old as George Burns is portrayed in this movie. And he wrote for Martin Short Show, Wayne Brady Show, Primetime Glick, and a show called All the Comforts in 2008. And then I said, oh yeah, SCTV, I didn't mention that because I'm not familiar with it. And then I asked you, I was like, if you're familiar with it, you can mention it.
Yeah. And then I was
stared into my soul. I was afraid. Your face was frozen.
You're like spaghetti. Spaghetti, have you heard of SCTV? And I'm like, my cousin died. And you're like, well, that's weird. I mean, any way you want to grieve is all good.
Oh my god.
You need a blooper reel, and then you do the zing noises sound effects.
This shit's
the Benny Hill musical background. Yeah.
All right, so there's some more stuff in this fucking movie. I didn't actually have much time to write a ton of stuff, so I'm gonna have to kind of go try to look as we go. Yeah. But we have Josh Goldstein and Jonathan Prince who did the writing on this thing. Josh Goldstein did a bunch of shit I'm not familiar with. Catch a Falling Star in 2000. Doesn't look good for this guy. And the other one, Jonathan Prince, also not looking good for him. That's probably why they don't have hyperlinks, right?
Some Dad, the Angel, and Me. Yeah. I don't know this shit.
Did I write anything down about Stephen M. Katz? Holy shit, I didn't do anything this week. So Stephen M. Katz did the cinematography here.
Yeah.
And he did Messiah of Evil. That's crazy.
Yeah. I
love how... Yeah, like Kentucky Fried Movie. I like how on this movie, or Sister. Yeah, there's quite a few here. It's always horror movies. All these people are always doing horror movies in their early career, and I'm always like, oh wow, he did Blood Beach, or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, good cinematography here. It is serviceable, but he did a lot of shit like Blues Brothers, looking. I'll always Know What You Did Last Summer from 2006. Like he's still making shit 2006. We got editor.
Stuff.
We got editor Danford Green. We love a Dan. He did some editing for MASH, the TV show, or the movie, Blazing Saddles. You know, he's a good editor. You know, some serviceable editing in this movie. Music by Billy Goldenberg. Billy Goldenberg, everyone. He did a lot of stuff. He did the Atlanta child murders. He was the perpetrator of the Atlanta child murders. Don't be afraid of the dark
incident.
Yeah.
He was the UFO in the UFO incident. All right.
Oh, that's true. Is that the one that that's the one that Kino put out, right? That one was like, this shit sucks. But it's about Barney and Betty Hill, which Adam loves.
It's James Earl Jones. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's a TV movie, so it's like it can only go so far. But yeah, it's pretty good.
They're getting their semen sucked out. It's like, I just had my semen sucked out in my sack. I've been drained, Betty. I can't do it tonight.
It's Thursday.
And then who else we got? No, that's it. That's all we got. This was filmed in Los Angeles, California, believe it or not. Like everything else. It was shot around August 1st, 1987. So we're looking at 1987 in this movie. It was produced by Walter Koblenz. I guess we should mention Walter Koblenz. He was a film producer, production manager. Big thing was, he produced Sister, the 1987 movie with Eric Stoltz, Jennifer Jason Leigh, that Vinegar Syndrome put out. They used to put out some pretty interesting movies. I guess they still do. I'm just jaded.
Yeah, it's more mainstream, but mainstream cult.
Yeah, they're putting out, was it this month, Troll 2?
Yeah, and Garbage Pail Kids. So it's like they're cult movies, but everybody knows them kind of thing.
Yeah, they should put out 18 again. I'd buy that.
Yeah. They're trying to get that Walmart crowd hook.
They should. A big thing with this movie is the production company was New World Pictures. New World Pictures. Are you guys familiar with them? I know Spaghetti definitely is, but Adam, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the movies they did, like Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I saw that back when I was probably too young to be, that's the start of my goth girl fascination.
I'm gonna add the New World Pictures logo to the to the artwork for this week, but take a look at the New World Pictures logo. That shit just makes my belly feel warm and full. I love it. Every time I see that logo pop up, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. But they produced a ton of shit. I just mentioned in 1988 alone, they produced 11 other feature films: The Telephone, Hell Comes to Frogtown, Sister, Slugs, Return of the Killer Tomatoes, Dead Heat, The Wrong Guys, which I don't know, that's a different movie than you're thinking, Freeway, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, Angel 3, The Final Chapter, and Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. That's a hell of a lineup for a single year. So they were probably at peak numbers here in 1988. Peak of their popularity.
Yeah, it's a lot of the schlock, fun schlock that's like you see at the rental stores, but it was quick, easy, theatrical stuff that has a lot of charm and novelty now. So, yep.
Well, today we have Neon and we have A24, which a lot of times they are the distribution, but they're not always the production, right? So what I wanted to note here is New World Pictures was both production company and distribution company for a lot of these movies.
Yeah.
That's cool. And then we had a runtime of 93 minutes. Yes, folks, 1 hour and 33 minutes. It was released on April 8th, 1988 in the United States, theatrically. So one of my favorite parts here is just talking about the box office. Notable competition in the weekend of this release was Above the Law, 1988, with the Steven Seagal film, and Bad Dreams from 1988, the supernatural slasher film, rather. So Bad Dreams, Above the Law, and 18 again. Which one are you guys going to see? Are you going to do a triple feature, or are you just going to see one of those?
Dude, I gotta go. I gotta go with my boy Steven Seagal. I gotta be honest, man.
Yeah, I was thinking we need to do a Steven Seagal film on here. But yeah, I imagine that would have been hard to beat, right?
Do we really need to have Steven Seagal on this show? Like,
I think we do. We should literally get him on the show while he's still alive.
Yeah.
oh yeah, he'd be a great podcast guy. Hey, I'm Steven Seagal. I'm recording from Russia. You got a big fan base
Hell yeah,
out here.
Half our videos are blocked there because of the songs. So yeah, Bad Dreams is cool, but you can see why this maybe isn't well known.
But Steven
also in
has
that
seen 18 again 10 times since he moved to Russia because that's the only rip he can get.
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah, he's like he's like, oh, cool.
18 again in Russian.
So around the same time, not the same weekend necessarily, but around the same time, they would have been facing off against Beetlejuice from 1988. Okay, imagine facing off against Beetlejuice.
Yeah, destroy you. That's where you stand. Yeah.
We got Biloxi Blues, Matthew Broderick comedy war film. Bright Lights, Big City, Michael J. Fox drama film. One that caught my eye because I was like, oh, a drama with Michael J. Fox? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay. The Fox and the Hound had its 1988 theatrical re-release, the Disney film. The Seventh Sign, which sounds totally cool. This is going to be like a Halloween pick next year. It's a 1988 Demi-Moore apocalyptic horror film.
Oh, okay. Sign. Yeah, Seventh Sign. Yep. I've seen that too.
Johnny Be Good, 1988. Anthony Michael Hall, high school football comedy film. That's probably in the same category as this one, is just like forgotten. I was like, what? What is this? But that's really it. This has had some competition for sure. Like you're facing off against a popular Steven Seagal film at the peak of his popularity in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
This was shot on 35 millimeter, if you can believe it or not. Not much details on it, but 35 millimeter. Aspect ratio is 1:85:1. So this is similar to Ernest Save Christmas. There are small black bars at the top and bottom of the screen. However, it is not as wide as CinemaScope. As John Carpenter once said, CinemaScope makes a movie.
Yep.
And we do have some small trivia about the movie before we get into it. Roger Ebert gives the film a score of 1.5 out of 4.
Oh, man.
He compares it to Like Father, Like Son, and vice versa. So before we talk about this, Like Father, Like Son, and vice versa, I'm going to look these up.
Probably
I've never heard of these before. Yeah, well, I was thinking that's the stuff that like you would know of movie wise, but like I'd never heard of these two. But apparently everyone loved Vice Versa, the movie, and it was the same year. It was a 1988 fantasy comedy film directed by Brian Gilbert, starring Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage. It is the fourth film adaptation of some novel from 1988 called Vice Versa. But it's about looks like a guy. So they switch bodies. I think he switches bodies with his like stepfather.
Fred Savage. Okay.
And Like Father, Like Son. There's always like an alternate Korean drama film that I have to fight against. Like Father, Like Son is a 1987 fantasy comedy film. This one is Dudley Moore and Kirk Cameron. About a father and son who magically switch bodies. So they're like 1987, 1988. This was a what we would call a trend, right? Like
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure Freaky Friday. Yeah.
Here it refers to it as a mini cycle of age swap, body swap pictures. The movies included Big from 1988. I didn't know Big was a body swap movie. 18 Again, Vice Versa, Dream a Little Dream, and Like Father, Like Son. That's a lot.
Yeah, because I'm sure I'm sure there was something out there that's older than Freaky Friday. The original one with like Jodie Foster. When was that one? Disney did that one in 76, and then I'm sure there's probably some, obviously, that I'm just drawing a blank, some 50s movies and stuff like that. But I'm sure Freaky Friday hit it pretty big in 76, obviously, and then people still had nostalgic for that, and then, always a little spurt of the same kind of theme films, but yeah, makes sense.
There's just a lot. That's just weird to me. I mean, we could do a body swap month and just cover all those movies.
Yeah.
Be like, which one is the best one? He goes on to say he called Vice Versa the best film of the three. He stated the whole project seems to have been enveloped in a miasma of good intentions and heartwarming sentiments. There's no edge, no bite, and none of the inspired body language that made Vice Versa so special. He's talking about 18 again. The movie makes no attempt to really imagine what it would be like to inhabit another body. It just springs the gimmick on us and starts unreeling its sitcom plot. Although Burns is, of course, a beloved institution, and any opportunity to see him is welcome, he is not given much to do in the movie, and he doesn't do much with it. No real effort has been made to find any differences between Burns and the character he plays in this movie. So a bit of a scathing reaction from Roger Ebert on this movie. I went into the movie having read that, so I was trying to but I honestly thought it was pretty decent. I thought what you mentioned in your review, Spaghetti, I think it was your review, was how Charlie Schlatter really got into the mannerisms of George Burns, and that's the interesting part of the movie. Is you still have George Burns in the movie because he's inhabiting his grandson's body, and it's almost like watching a George Burns performance.
Yeah.
I can see the duality thing where, if you're watching all these movies in bulk, which Ebert does, right? So he has these other movies fresh on his mind when he's doing this review. And I can see that he's looking at for instance, like Father Like Son. And I think I might have saw that movie once. It's been a while. But you're looking at the duality of, Dudley Moore is doing a character and Kirk Cameron is doing a character, and you're getting the comedic riff of both characters doing each other, and they're getting about 50-50 screen time.
Yeah, and this
so
George Burns is in a coma.
Yeah, George Burns, he's gone for most of the movie. And then, Charlie Schlatter is doing 85% of the work in this movie. So I get where he's coming from, and when you see it in bulk, he might be sort of considering that. I think over time and watching it in the George Burns lens, it definitely marinates way better. So watching it from our viewing standpoint, it's a way more beloved film, but I can see where he's coming from. I take Ebert with a grain of salt, but I can see where he's coming from.
Yeah, that's why I included. I like to hear his perspective. I've grown to like Ebert. I used to be a person that's oh, fuck Ebert. But now I'm like, whoa, what do you have to say about it? Because it's always interesting to hear. He'll be like, oh, I like this shot of in a hallway. That's like a real movie. Sometimes he has nothing to say.
Yeah.
Janet Maslin. Have you heard that name before, Spaghetti?
Maybe. You're going to talk 5 more words and then I'll remember who she is.
She was a film critic for the New York Times in 1977. Her film criticism career included her embrace of the American independent cinema, and she's discussed in detail in For the Love of Movies, the story of American film criticism from 2009. It's a documentary. Entertainment Weekly critic, or EW critic, Lisa Schwartzbaum recalls the excitement of having a woman as the lead reviewer at the New York Times.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, she was critical.
I think I've read her stuff before, but yeah.
I've heard her name before, and it'll make sense in a moment why I have. But she was critical of 18 again. She's for leaving George Burns in a coma when that's who the audience came to see. That's who we came to see was George Burns.
Yeah.
And she says that it isn't successfully aimed at anyone in particular. Now, just funny note here, in 2005 interview with Aaron Aradia at rockcritics.com, Maslin explained she quit reviewing films because she experienced burnout. Expressing gratitude, it ended when it did. Can you relate to that?
Well, she didn't have George Burns out.
Oh. Harmony Korine takes great pride in believing he is responsible for her moving from movie reviews to book reviews after declaring Gummo the worst film of 1997.
Yay.
Yeah.
So that's how I know Janet Maslin, and she talks shit about Gummo.
Well, and I'm a firm believer that people can talk film criticism and, they're good at what they do. And obviously they have a voice and they have a following. But people are also set in their own ways and opinions, and film is an ever-evolving beast. So you'll have somebody who is a traditionalists in one form, and because it's ever evolving, you have to always take their word for a grain of salt, because as the product changes, you know, they might hate it in the moment, but then retrospect, you're going to look back and say, no, like Gummo is widely revered now. And so it is what it is. But so it makes sense.
Yeah, Harmony Korine is just like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Move to book reviews. That's my last note for before we get into it. And I do want to say, I did not write any notes for this movie, so we're going to be doing this from memory, dogs. So I'm glad you're here with me to help me recount the events of 18 again. This one's going to be interactive, Adam. You're going to get to interact on this one.
Nice. This is a choose your own adventure type of podcast. People can call in and we'll...
Yeah.
Call in now, 888-888-888-888. Yeah, this is 1988's 18 again. I feel like we just really need to talk about a couple cast members maybe, and then we'll move right in. We got Charlie Schlatter, as we mentioned. He was actually in Bright Lights, Big City. He was asked to audition in it. And this led to his first film appearance as the younger brother of Michael J. Fox in that movie. Connection. We just talked about that. Okay. He was also in Heartbreak Hotel from 1988, the same year. Played Johnny Wolf. The Delinquents, 1989. All American Murder from 1991. All American Murder also has Christopher Walken, should be mentioned. So check that out. Sunset Heat from 1992. That sounds cool as fuck. Police Academy Mission to Moscow, 94. Ed from 96. And White Rush from 2003. He recently was in For All Mankind in 2021, a TV show, and Shameless in 2017. He played Dr. Dick. Do you remember this, Adam? Dr. Dick in Shameless?
I don't remember, but I have seen Shameless.
Yeah, so Dr. Dick Shameless, that's where you've seen Charlie Schlatter before recently in 2017. And you audience members have probably seen Shameless. I haven't seen it, so I have no fucking clue. He was also in NCIS, a bunch of shit. Silk Stockings in 1994. Damn, what a fucking sick ass title, Silk Stockings. Holy shit.
Is that
I wish we could steal that for our podcast.
Is that the Showtime show, or is that different?
I think so. No, CBS.
Or was it Showtime
CBS.
or Cinemax? Oh, okay. Then it's not.
This is CBS. It's a crime drama.
Oh, yeah.
Crime time after prime time. So it was like a late night crime drama thing.
Yeah. Okay. Silk Stockings. That was a show.
Touched by an Angel. Holy shit. Some of these titles, man. I just love the 90s.
Yeah.
The 90s titles are so sick. Yeah. So that was our boy Charlie Schlatter. I like him a lot in this movie. You got George Burns. What can you say about George Burns? What can you say? He's like my grandpa. We got Tony Roberts. I've heard of Tony Roberts' name. I've probably seen him in a ton of movies. He was in Amityville 3D. Haven't seen that one yet, so maybe not. I don't know if I've seen any of his movies, actually. Have you guys seen any of his movies? And he was in Annie Hall. Woody Allen
Serpico.
movie.
He's in Serpico. Take him Pelham 1, 2, 3. I forget where he's at in that. He's in Popcorn.
Oh, he's in Popcorn. Oh, that's right. Oh, he is in Popcorn. He gets killed by the flying like mosquito prop. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I've seen it.
Woody Allen stuff.
Fuck yeah, check out Popcorn, folks. One of the best horror slashers of the 80s, in my opinion. Fuck yeah, dude. Anyone else here? Who's Red Buttons? That one caught my fucking eye. I was like, who the fuck is Red Buttons?
Oh, he's pretty infamous of yesterday. He won a Best Supporting Actor at the Oscars one year. But yeah, he was in a bunch of stuff back in the day. And then also he was on television a lot. I always remember a little interesting thing is I remember my grandparents' house had a bunch of like just old VHSs, but they were in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, right? So it's like a bunch of like old cowboy stuff like Bonanza, right? And then
it's like when I go to
always
now to look for shit. It's all they have is your grandfather's stuff.
Yeah, it's all like, but then they had like Red Buttons comedy hits, and so he was sort of like a stage guy that did a bunch of comedy and stuff.
Like,
but yeah,
Red Buttons, biggest boners.
Yeah, but he was a good like side character guy. So he was the old guy. He was George Burns' best friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff from back in the day. So, yeah.
He's cool. That's a great name, Red Buttons. I just picture like a fucking like 1910s baseball fucking guy though. Just the most weirdest like he's doing the Who's On First comedy skit. I don't know. He's
in a movie called They Shoot Horses, Don't They?
I wanted to mention
favorite
that.
Movies. Yeah.
Again, a great title. Holy shit. They shoot horses, don't they? From 1969.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie. That's a movie about back in the Great Depression, they used to do dancing contests. And if you could dance the longest, you'd win a prize. So it was like a marathon thing, right? And then people would bet. It was so They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Equates to the dancers are sort of like horses at the track.
Right.
Right? And so if they break their leg, you shoot the horse, right?
Easy come. People are the ultimate spectacle.
And now you're going to see it, yowza, the Derby! One couple and only one will waltz out of here over broken bodies and broken dreams, carrying the grand prize of $1,500 silver dollars. And believe me, these wonderful kids deserve your cheers because each one of them is fighting down pain, exhaustion, weariness, struggling to keep going, battling to win. And isn't that the American way? You bet it is.
What I mean is, if you think about it, cattle ain't got it much worse than us.
If she ain't pregnant, I'm Nelsonetti.
So what's healthier than having a kid?
Number 78 is in trouble. We're going to pour a judge over there.
What are you gonna do? Put us in cages and let them throw peanuts at us?
The boy from 67 is down. He is definitely down.
Look at us. We're all like this now. Dirty, swollen feet, no sleep. What do you want?
6, 7. Shut up, Dr. Hang up. Oh. Hang on, please.
Kiss me.
Jesus!
They ain't quitting.
Get him off me! Get him
Help me.
5, 4, 3, So Red Buttons is one of the dancers in that movie, and he's one of the best characters in that thing. So he's a side, but he's a well-known he's a side character in a lot of movies, and he always brings a lot of charm to things. But yeah, he's well-known.
18 again. Don't we all wish we could be 18 again? So this movie, so I did write one thing down, just kind of opening. David Watson is a loser freshman at university. He can't run a mile quickly, and he has absolutely no bitches. Unlike his grandfather, 81-year-old playboy Jack Watson. His friend is Pauly Shore, and he has a crush on a blonde in his American history class. So I guess we should mention here, the blonde's name is Betty, I believe, right?
Yeah. She's from, I remember her from Ghostbusters.
Betty, played by Miriam Flynn. She's a voice and character actress. She's known for playing Cousin Catherine in the National Lampoon Vacation films. Yep. Grandma Longneck in the Land Before Time franchise. and she was Sister Helen in the Fox/WB sitcom Grounded for Life. Now, this is a moment where I'm like, I don't remember where she is. I watched all of Grounded for Life. I could not tell you who Sister Helen is, but that's cool. I go back and look. It's like...
She's at the very beginning of Ghostbusters that Bill Murray's doing like the psychic test with the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And he's sort of hitting on her. So that's what because I've seen Ghostbusters
I have not
like
seen
a trillion
Ghostbusters
times.
in so long. I have not.
So
I've seen it maybe twice.
Yeah.
No shade to Ghostbusters. I like that movie. I just haven't watched it a lot. We can cover it on the podcast. Let's go. She's been in a ton of cool shit though, like Vegas Vacation, Carpool. I don't know, a lot of that like 90s stuff.
Yeah.
So, he likes her, and we really don't get much of Charlie. It's kind of funny how quickly rather it's just like we get right. Like I was so shocked the accident scene happened because George Burns is just like, okay, I guess there's not really that much to talk about up front. I'm trying to like think. I'm like, he has his friend Pauly Shore. Pauly Shore is kind of like interesting. We didn't mention him up front, but he's in this movie as like a very, very supportive friend of Charlie. Charlie Slatter's character, David.
Yeah.
David, am I getting that right?
And he's such a.
I guess.
I was just gonna say he's such a like hey buddy. It threw me for a second. I was like, that's not Pauly Shore. Like I didn't hear any Pauly Shore mannerisms, but yeah, he's pretty. He's just like a really supportive guy in this movie.
Yeah, Pauly Shore started off 1987 in 21 Jump Street. So this is really early in his career. He had just done Saint Elsewhere. Some TV show on there. He played some episodes there. This was his first acting role, I think. I'm not sure because this is selected, and I don't know why is this selected filmography. No, he's in Four Keeps as well, which is a 1988 Molly Ringwald coming of age film. I don't know why there's so many Molly Ringwald coming of age films, but there are. Never even heard of that one.
Yeah, John G. Allison. Yeah.
This is his second film role, and probably his first starring role, I have to imagine. Yeah. So Pauly Shore was in also Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge the next year in 1989. He was in Encino Man 1992, and then everything else, Son-in-Law 93, In the Army Now 94, everything else from there. Biodome 96. Holy shit, we need to talk about Biodome on this show. Add that to the list, Editor Dan.
And I would do Encino Man. I'd be there for yeah.
These are movies I grew up on, man. All right. Pauly Shore's in this fucking movie. And he's not in it much. He's not in it much, just like George Burns isn't in it too much. But actually, George Burns was in it more than I thought he was going to be in it. Basically, I guess let's describe the character situation. You got the dad who's like works at this factory or company. George Burns is the head of the company. He's an old man. He's obsessed with cigars. He has like a wife or like a mistress. He's some lady who's redhead. She is very strange. She's like a Batman character.
Yeah.
She's like from the Tim Burton Batman or something. And Charlie, or I'm gonna keep saying Charlie, but David doesn't want to. He's really awkward, right? I feel like he doesn't really know how to do anything. He's like, oh, I can't talk to the girl.
Yeah.
And he can't run. He's not good at running. And he's getting bullied, and he has to write like term papers for other kids.
Yeah, he's rushing for his grandfather's fraternity.
That's right. He's in a fraternity. That's why he's being hazed.
Yeah. And so he's basically, because his grandfather's Charlie's picture's on the, or not, his grandfather's picture's on the wall. And so I remember that scene. And so they sort of have to take him in as a legacy, but he's sort of, he would never fit in with their kind of culture now, kind of thing. So they sort of use him as just a grunt.
That sucks. That's fucked up. I'm Beto O'Rourke. That's fucked up. But yeah, his grandfather's cool as hell, right? Like the thing is, like, he's like an institution.
Yeah.
Like people know the Watsons. Is that what they are? The Watsons? Yeah. Tony Roberts, I guess, works in sales. He doesn't want to work in sales. We'll learn about later. And I guess, yeah, George Burns never listens to Tony Roberts. And I don't know. I like the one scene where we get introduced to George Burns, where his chair is like turned around, and I think it's Tony Roberts comes in, or someone comes in and is like, "Hey, Dad." He's like, "Are you in there?" And he comes out of the bathroom. It's like a what would you call that? Misdirect?
Yeah, like he's pouring his heart out to him, to the back of the chair, and then George Burns is zipping up his fly from the side of the room. Yep.
Yeah, it's like the poster for Gremlins 2. There's like there's like a lit cigar, just like cigarette smoke coming off of the chair.
Yeah.
Some shit. And he comes out and he's zipping up his fly. He's like, "Hey, what up, bitch?"
Yeah.
Damn. I think David comes in at one point and he's like, "Tell me how you run a mile, how quick?" He's like, 580. I don't remember what he says. I have no clue, but it was like a long time. It was like 5 minutes or some shit.
Yeah.
And he just kept making fun of him. He's like, 5 minutes? Damn, dude. And I just remember they have the party and they go on the ride together. He's like, "Grandpa." Like, I don't know what happens. Like, it just happens because it needs to happen for the plot. But he just like goes through an intersection, slams into a building, drives right through like a Rite Aid or some shit.
Yeah.
And they like hold hands while they do it. And they switch bodies. And this happens really quickly in the movie. Like, we get no time with anyone really before we've already switched bodies. And it turns out that David is now in George Burns' body, Jack's body. And he's in a coma now. So the kid's just like, fuck. And later they bring up, they're like, what happens to David? He's like, "Oh, you know as good as I do." I was like, Jesus, this guy does not care.
Yeah.
Like, that was my first thought watching. I was like, man, it really seems like this grandfather does not give a shit. He's just like, yeah, I guess I'll stay here now. It's not until they go to unplug him later that he's like, oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get that great scene of him like just running through a hospital with an old man. I'm like, no, I think that's gonna like break a bone or something.
And it just happens because of the plot. He like goes through a fucking plate glass or some shit, like some like church glass or some shit in this hospital.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's like a Suspiria moment where you're just like, yeah, there's a room with just barbed wire so you just fall into. Yeah, so the movie is about George Burns. He's 81 and he's like, I want to be 18 again. It'd be so nice to be. He sings his song 18 again at the party.
3/4 home from the start.
Is a lot weaker than it is on recording. It's not as good on the movie.
Yeah.
I want to be 18 again. I'll be there. And he gets his wish. He's 18 again. He wakes up in his grandson's body. What is the first thing he does? Does anybody remember?
Crickets.
I have the movie up, so I figured to guess.
I just remember him like dropping some. That might come later in the movie, but I love it when like he like David / Jack. Now he like drops something and then like he does like the old man thing to pick it up off the ground.
Yeah.
But then he realizes that was like a lot of the fun in this movie was watching Charlie Schlatter. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, David.
Watching his like him pull off the George Byrne mannerisms, and the first one is like him dropping something on the ground and like picking it up like an old man. But then he's like, wait a second.
Yeah, he's like, I don't have to. I can just lean, and he doesn't have to hunch or anything. He's just hunched over at first. He's like, oh, I can just. So that's the first thing he does is he tests his body, right? He goes to the track and field shit. He's like he's throwing javelins. He's running the track. He's like, I'm young again. I'm 18.
He's like,
I'm not going to have a heart attack if I do this.
He's like doing some fucking cartwheels on the football field.
It's exuberated, right? If you're 81 years old and you're like, I'm about to check my ticket or whatever, get my ticket punched. And you're like, oh, I'm 18 again. I can start over. At least for now, I'm like, I don't have to worry about keeling over of natural causes. I can do stuff like that must be very powerful, I imagine. I'm not there yet. But yeah, we get, some dramatics. He gets into, the bullies, the hazing guys are still like, you got to write our shit. And they make him do like 20 push-ups. And he's like, come on, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And we learn one shocking scene to me was, he loves art. So he's being pushed maybe by his family, his grandfather, legacy, to do track and field and be athletic, but his real love is like, art, doing even graffiti. I don't know about graffiti, but he was doing like a mural. White people do, it's a mural.
Yeah. Yeah.
No cops are like, stop resisting. So, he loves art. And we get the art class scene. And one scene that shocked me early on is we get almost, I wouldn't say full frontal, but I almost thought we were. I was like, damn, I just saw this. You get a full top nudity. So, they're doing the classic college thing where you draw or sketch or paint somebody nude. So you have a nude model come up. And George Burns is like, wowza. Like, it's like the most ridiculous reaction ever. It's like, do you know the last time I saw a naked woman? Last Thursday. But still excites me. And I actually did like his little drawing, his little Picasso inspired painting.
Yeah.
George Burns, Jack's character is pretty good at painting. Not bad.
And I love that that's a typical trope of an 80s movie where they throw nudity in a PG rated movie because nobody gave a crap back then.
Yeah, is this PG? I was wondering.
Yeah,
that's why I was shocked.
PG.
I was like, wow. That's crazy. Yeah. Can you imagine that today?
Well, yeah, and that's just a common thing. I mean, there's a lot of 80s PG-rated movies that have nudity all over.
This wasn't before PG-13, right? When did PG-13 become a thing?
Late 80s, I think.
84, yeah. So this, I don't know. This feels like it could have been. This definitely feels like it could have been PG-13. I don't know why it wasn't. That's strange. Are we even sure this is PG?
It
PG. Is. Oh my God. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, full frontal nudity. I don't know if there's much cursing, but there is a lot of sexual innuendo. From there, George Burns is just getting acclimated to his life, and another, I guess we should mention that I don't like the creepy teacher who keeps trying to like molest his love interest.
Yeah.
I need you to teach me about Truman. And that is the weirdest plot of this movie.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Why are we talking about Harry S. Truman so much? And I don't know how much. Does S really not stand for anything?
It doesn't. No.
Wow. But George Burns says it stands for Sergey.
Yeah, that's sort of the charming, kind of little hilarious tick to it. Well, it's because he's the same age as Harry Truman. Well, he's not the same age, but maybe he is. I don't know. How old's Harry Truman?
I don't know. I can figure it out.
Well, if Truman was president, and he's older than George Burns, because if Truman was president in World War II, and that was the 40s.
So Truman was born in 1884.
Old God, it's these fucking old people, man. 1800.
And Burns is 96.
Born in 96, so about like 14 years later. So 10 years later, roughly 12 years.
So
but he's spent a lot of time with Harry Truman. He's got all these stories about Harry Truman. So that's his in with the blonde love interest. Is he's going to talk to her all about Harry Truman and all these stories to help her with her classwork, her essay. I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah. Fun fact about me is that when I was a kid, I grew up in the hometown of Harry Truman. So there was like the Truman Library, his presidential library, and all that stuff. So regardless of what people are yay or nay about the president, regardless of that, because I know he did some very controversial big events. He
did some controversial things.
Like dropped a bomb or two. But regardless of that, regardless of how you feel about that or what side of the fence, I grew up in his hometown. And so
are there people on the for side? Who's on the for side?
Oh, I don't know.
Show yourselves.
But regardless, yeah. So
That's funny. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. It's just a strange element to this movie, but yeah, it reminds me of Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
And then you got the track and field stuff. He's got the rival who's actually currently dating the blonde girl. I thought that was strange. It was like she just leaves him. She's like, I'm gonna start cheating on him, basically, right?
Yeah, I don't even know how in depth that relationship is, because every time he would go in for a kiss, he literally just grabbed her. So it was almost like a forced
That's just the 80s.
Yeah,
that's the 80s
forced love. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's like, yeah, I'm the president of this fraternity, and I pick you, kind of thing. So,
and I like the dream sequence. I was gonna sample it, but I didn't. Where like he shows up as George Burns, like old George Burns, to the blonde love interest's house.
Yeah.
And I think I don't remember. I just remember all this shit. He's like, he's like, you were friends with him? He's like, he knew Harry Truman personally.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we hung out on with Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah.
I love that actor that plays her father too. Like, I forget his name, but he's in a lot of shit, and he's like the psychiatrist or something in Terminator. Yeah, he just does.
Is it Earl Bowen? Yeah, Earl Bowen. He's criminal psychiatrist Dr. Peter Silverman in the Terminator franchise. Yes.
He's gonna take me to Europe.
Yeah, he's gonna take me to Europe. I like when he's just like, I knew this wasn't gonna work. What do you say? I knew this wouldn't work out. Our ages are too far apart. They'd be closer if you drop a zero from yours. Look, mister, you better hope you never grow old. I'm hoping you won't. Knocking at the door. Don't be alarmed, folks. We are taking this man back to where he belongs. He's not David Watson. He's Jack Watson, David's 81-year-old grandfather. What? Then where's David? This is a nightmare. And then the kid smiles at him. Yeah, I just want to talk about that scene because I fucking love the dream sequence. So because it's one scene you get George Burns to do the thing.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, but my one remark, and I don't know if we were gonna return to this, is, because that is the one scene where we really only get George Burns outside of the beginning and end of the movie. But this movie, I guess, once again, kudos to Charlie, Schlatterly, or whatever. I'm going to Schlatter, Schabloigen, whatever his last name is. Kudos to him. Kudos to him for just how well he carries George Burns' character. Because like I said, it's almost like George Burns never left the movie. And he did voiceovers, but it's like I almost didn't notice it. And so even to the point where Charlie went back to his original character of David, it was almost like, who is this guy? Bring back George Burns. I actually, even when we were on this podcast, I forgot who David was for a second. You kept on bringing up David, and I was like, who the hell is David? I was like, oh yeah, that kid. So
the kid is in a coma the whole movie.
Yeah, so it just makes sense that, so that is the one. I guess it was poignant to sort of bring it up during that scene during the dream sequence, because we did get George Burns, but I don't know. I almost liked, as much as I love seeing George Burns, I almost like seeing Charlie do George Burns at a constant through the whole time.
It's really fun. I do agree it's aged better, especially when you go in just like, I want to watch a George Burns movie so me and my podcast can meme it. And it's like, well, it's perfect because this guy's going to act like George Burns for 90 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
It's interesting. From there, we get some more stuff with Pauly Shore. He has the mural that he paints, blah, blah, blah. He tells his friend Red Buttons that he is George Burns. He's like, I'm Jack, friend. And he tells him all this crazy shit, like all this weird rapey shit. I don't even know. His weird orgy shit from 1930s. It's like, do you remember when, Jack? Or whatever. And that's how he knows he's the guy. I don't know. I would love to see a movie of what Jack Watson did with his time on Earth.
Yeah, it would have been interesting, I guess, a little bit to see what David's character inside George Burns would have done for a little bit, but it probably would have ruined the movie. And we get far more the he's setting David up side of things. I guess really the only George Burns, Jack Watson side of the fence is him dealing with his the lady in his will, his lover, or I don't know if they're married. I don't know, but the gold digger lady, Madeline or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it'd be interesting to see what Charlie did as George Burns, but I don't know. It probably would have ruined the movie. So I think it was well done the way it was.
Yeah. Plus, you want to get the scene that I was about to mention. Yeah, where George Burns goes to be like, "Hey, my lady. Hey, come, my lady."
Yeah.
Did you just come?
He goes over and he's like, we got some stuff to talk about, Toots. And she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad you're here, David, the younger guy. I need you here because I need all the passion that an old man can't give me." And he's like, wait. And she goes to like undo his pants or whatever, start touching his legs. And he's like, wait, you have the voiceover in his head. He's like, "I haven't even told her I'm me yet." He's like, "This is wrong." And so that was interesting. That's an interesting dynamic where it's like, she's cheating on me. and she thinks I'm a weak old man, you know? She says it's completely, what is the word? Platonic?
Yeah. And then he goes into that flashback and then it's like, yeah, and it's like platonic.
Platonic.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? We were doing the Charleston at night.
Yeah.
Is that the understanding that they have sex regularly? That's why he says he saw a naked woman on Thursday?
Yeah. Like he's still got it.
I have to say, like, best scene my favorite scene in the movie too. I don't know about you, Dan. I've always had a thing for older women, even though like now I'm 40, almost 40. So like the older women in these movies are like 7 years older.
Not so old anymore.
Yeah, they're like contemporaries. I do like the line that's like, I think the father says about Madeline early on, where he's like, "Just be glad she's as young as she says she is. If she's as young as she says she is, those are school books she's carrying." Obviously referring to her ample bosom. But yeah, the whole scene where like she's like creeping up on David / Jack, I have to say was I mean, that was just wonderful. I was like, "Oh, this is hot."
Yeah, it's fine. It's the classic like, "Ooh, this shouldn't be happening," kind of thing. I don't know. It reminds you like Back to the Future or something.
Yeah. And if there wasn't that one lady, the love interest for David, that Jack probably would have jumped her bones. As what's his name? I think. If it was any other screwball kind of comedy. So.
Yeah.
I thought part of me was like, man, is this movie going to turn down that route where it's just like an 81-year-old man who's like, I can finally get myself a 19-year-old.
No, he's very wholesome. And he goes and plays like, fucking poker and shit. He's like, "I'm going to win at poker against your fraternity brothers."
Yeah.
I love that scene because he's like, the whole point is like they have this all ridiculous thing where like, "I'm putting it all in. I'm putting it all in. And I'm putting $500 in. I'm putting $1,000 in." And he's like, "I was bluffing." And it's like, "So was I." They both have like shitty hands or whatever. Yeah. They decide that, "Hey, we're going to settle this at the track meet, the big track meet. I'm going to beat you, buddy, and take your girl." And they just start fighting after that, which is crazy. I can't imagine. I remember like there's that scene where they get into the altercation at the club, I think, right? Because he catches them together. And he's like, "You're here with my girl," and then he like does some crazy like fucking Kill Bill moves, some martial arts shit. Like kicks him in the fucking face. Yeah, and I was like, "Damn, dude, he looks fucked up," because he's bleeding from his nose and like mouth, and I could just like see the like clotted blood everywhere. It was gross.
Yeah, I feel like maybe
he got fucked up.
Like, I don't know, is that an 80s thing to have like the bully who is just like really good at fighting?
I guess.
Yeah.
George Burns can. I like how he kind of stands his ground later. He's like, "It only works once, pal."
Yeah.
I think it would work twice on me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There's a thing here where they have to decide the big dance or whatever, and I love how the school bully, or I keep saying bully, but the fraternity lead guy, he's like, we should do toga party, man, like they used to. And I think that's funny because it's like they used to. You mean like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
in your real lifetime.
They do in every.
Because to us,
movie.
yeah, toga parties are like vintage. That's like a 70s thing. But at the time, it's like not that old. And then George Burns is like, "No, dude, let's do a Roaring 20s party. Let's party like it's the 20s and we know it's all about to crash." And I was like, "That's kind of just as lame as a toga party, actually."
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys have any party ideas? You guys bring any party ideas for the movie?
We're gonna do
I was not impressed.
Party.
A what? Abe Lincoln?
An 18 again party. We're all gonna have the mannerisms of our favorite old actors. Just.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
An 81 party.
That's actually a good idea.
Geriatric party.
All right. And then what happens from here is I like the scene where he apparently before the transition, the switch body swap, David had written essays for all the guys that they needed or whatever for their papers. He's like, "Oh yeah, you got an A here, you got a B here. This is at least good for an A plus." And he's just like reading them off to the fraternity brothers, and he's throwing them into the bonfire behind him as he's reading. He's like, "Oh, this would be an A for you, buddy. This would be a B for you." And the lead fraternity guy just starts, you can see him, he's going to cry. And he starts fighting, he starts kicking, doing his crazy moves. Like, "It only works once, buddy." And yeah, he just he runs off. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was fun. He wins. George Burns wins, and they have their Roaring 20s party. And then we learn what's happening, guys.
You talk about they're gonna pull the plug on George Burns, man.
Yeah,
they're gonna pull the plug. Yeah, dude, that's crazy. And they basically already have, right?
Yeah, they did.
He's just like, they're just like, probably like move him up to the hospice unit. Yeah, it's like, okay, time to just make sure he's comfortable.
And George Burns, so Jack in David's body, George Burns, rushes to the hospital. I do like how we get some more of Madeline, and she like where she goes, she leaves. She's like, "All right, thank you." And she's talking to David's parents, and they're like, "Oh, we had to do it. We had no other choice but to pull the plug." And then she leaves in her car, and she just like takes off like a Grand Theft Auto character and like almost runs someone over on the sidewalk. And then it's like, "You crazy bitch!"
Yeah.
It's just the craziest shit ever. It was like absurdist level like craziness.
Yeah,
I appreciated that.
We get a few bitch drops in this movie because like when it might be stepping on your toes.
We didn't mention it. Yeah.
But when like David / Jack realizes that like he's changed his will to leave everything to his girlfriend, which is crazy because like, yeah, I don't think they're, like we said, like I don't think they're married, and like the whole conceit is that he's like, I don't know, I didn't get this feeling that he was like so done with his family that he was going to leave everything to this woman.
Everything to Madeline, yeah.
But like as
I'm screwed.
Like as like him and Charlie are driving, he's like, "I left everything to that bitch," and he's like, "That bitch? Since when? Since she tried to seduce my grandson."
And we didn't mention it, but during that scene where he leaves her, he's like, "No, stop! You're trying to molest me." And he's like, "I don't want to hit this woman, but I will. I would want to hit this woman."
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I've never hit a woman, but I would hit that woman.
Some crazy shit. But yeah, he's got a little bit of malice in his heart towards Madeline, and she, you have the scene where David, or it's confusing, but George Burns in David's body rushes to the hospital, he finds the body, and he just starts running with it. And it's crazy because like it's like to everyone else it's like horrifying. Everyone's reacting like, "Oh my God." He's just taking off down the hospital. He's like, and he just doesn't stop, and he goes through again like stained glass windows. I don't know, ostensibly into a church. They flip the cart and they're holding hands while they do it because George Burns, at the last minute, David in George Burns' body lifts his hands up and grabs his hand, and they switch places again. And David comes to, and he's just like, what the fuck is going on? And George Burns is back. He's alive. Because you think, oh, maybe George Burns is dead now. No, George Burns is fine. He's like, get me a cigar immediately. It's in your left pocket.
You left in a pocket.
I think one of my favorite parts in the movie is the whole rat race in the hospital. I think because I have to bring it up, he jumps in the room full of mid-surgery and all that stuff. But I think the funniest moment is where he pulls the blanket off that one person.
Oh, yeah.
And then they're just like dead staring at him and they go, put it back. And so it's like a totally alive person. And so I got to chuckle out loud at that. But yeah, that was a good sequence. So
yeah, it was crazy. Like I was saying, the way they shot it was just so strange. Because this is like a comedy movie, but they shot it like a weird drama horror thriller, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. And I do like that. Yeah, George Burns comes back, so we get kind of a happy ending. And we didn't really mention it, but you have the stuff where the son's like, "Oh, you never listened to me, Dad, and I took over your company while you're gone, and I implemented a bunch of things that's increase productivity but costs like no money." And he's like, "You're right. You don't need to be in sales. From now on, you run this thing with me." And I thought that was really cute. And he goes back home. He goes to Madeline, and he's like, "Go put on your cat suit. Go put on your cat suit." She's like, "Oh, okay." She goes walking. He's like, "I'm gonna put you outside tonight like a cat." She's like, "What?" Yeah, like how, and I like how the butler's just like, "Yeah, man, this is great," and he's like, they just throw the coat on top of her head. That's it. She's gone from the movie. And George Burns now, goes back to David. David's just confused as fuck. He's like, "What is happening? What happened this entire time?" He's like, I didn't qualify for this track meet." Because you have the whole thing where he's got to beat the guy in track, and he just sucks. And George Burns is like, "Here, wear my 1920s slippers."
Yeah,
these will help you.
They look wonky as hell too.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'd be wearing those. Maybe that's why he wasn't doing so well.
Yeah.
Now we do get the track scene where he just sucks, right? Right away he sucks. You're like, wow, he's gonna eat shit this entire time.
This is so bad. It was the most It was the most anticlimactic part of the movie. They have this whole build in this track, and then he's like just sort of skipping along the track, way behind everybody. I almost wish it sort of ended that way. And just to make it sort of
they got to do the syrupy ending though.
That's the cynic in me that I would just think it's ironically funny. But
you would think they might though, because this movie, I disagree with Ebert. I do think in today's climate, I do think this has bite, and I think this has the edge.
Yeah.
So I thought it may be, but no. And I will say here, we get a lot of cut to like close up shots of George Burns. That's where all the GIFs come from that we've been fucking posting all week. I was like, oh shit, that's the GIF. That's that one. There's like two of them right there. So yeah, great. And yeah, he wins. He overcomes, and he somehow, I don't know. I was thinking about that as I was watching. I was like, I guess you just have to run faster. You just have to run faster than the other guy. Move your legs quicker. That's what it is. But I would fucking die. I'm not good at running. But he wins, and the bully comes up, or the guy, he's like, he gives him $1,000. And that's it. He respects him as a competitor now.
Yeah. Yeah. All you got to do is beat the bully, and they're gonna respect you.
It's classic 80s, and he gets the girl. He kisses her. He says, "I love you," and they go off together. And I like the quip from George Burns as they're kissing. He's like, "What? I got robbed."
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets like a little old man peck on the cheek.
Yeah. He's like, "All right, we got to go. Get out. See you later, old man. We got to talk about Harry S. Truman." He's like, "My grandfather knows about him." It's like, "Yeah, I know." And the movie just ends there. Really, George Burns, is going to tell his grandson all about Harry S. Truman so he can get some poontang later. That's 18 again.
Yay.
I don't know. So I guess first, we didn't really say it. We should have done it earlier. We're doing it now.
3/4 home.
Spaghetti, do you recommend 18 again from 1988? And if you do, or if you don't, what would you recommend that is similar?
Oh, I definitely recommend it. I think, obviously, I think after watching Oh God, I have nostalgic value directly for George Burns. It was almost like this was the Oh God sequel that would have been the best. Because they're all sort of in that same kind of light where it's like an out of body, or George Burns is the guidance character towards some other person who's trying to find their way through life. So it was almost like this was an unofficial sequel to some degree. But yeah, for sure. Outside of Oh God, I definitely would recommend. All the body swap movies are a lot of fun. I think the old Freaky Friday is a staple. I think they all got something to bring to the table because it's always about two different sides of the fence that don't understand each other, that sort of correlate. This movie is a body swap movie, but it's sort of on its own island as well because it's the George Burns show by itself. It's more fish out of water than body swap, if I'm going to be totally honest. But where I'm getting at with this long, drawn-out ramble is, yes, I recommend it. So, yep.
Oh la la.
Adam, do you recommend 18 Again? And if you do or if you don't, what other things, what other pieces of media would you recommend alongside it?
I mean, first of all, I think this is now, I'm going to go ahead and say it. This is like my favorite George Burns movie now. And I was feeling that way like early on in the film. I just something about Charlie Schlatter, his just like impeccable impression of George Burns, and like if you have fondness for Burns, you're gonna watch this and be like, it feels like he's in the movie the whole time because you got somebody with his mannerisms, you got his voiceover the whole time, and something else I loved about this movie was like the relationship between Jack and David. Like, I just thought it was just like such a level of wholesome to see them two together. And like, I don't know, it made me feel very, very like sad in a way. Cause my grandpa died a long time, some years ago. And I was just like, man, I wish he was still around and living near me so we can like hang out, go to diners, get in car wrecks together, swap bodies. And I think maybe that would be like my one criticism of this movie was that I would have liked to see George Burns acting like, he had an 18-year-old inside of him. I think that'd be really, really sick. But at the same time, I'm like, man, this guy was like 91. I could see him just being like, I can't do much on screen. So like, I mean, it's a classic 80s film. The nerd gets the girl at the end. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just it felt like a more refined Freaky Friday. And I guess as far as like film recommendations, like obviously, right, Freaky Friday is like one of the first ones that comes to mind. That's my age, I guess. And did anybody here ever see 17 Again with Zac Efron?
We didn't bring it up. I was waiting for someone to mention it, but 17 Again. It's oddly similar, but in that movie we do get the thing where they have two separate people interacting in two different worlds. So as what Matthew Perry and Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I'd recommend that one too. That's a cool one. It's kind of like what you would have got if George Burns wasn't 80 or 91 years old. Is there like a similar like? Because I know what 17 Again is, and I think I saw it once. It was sort of like after my time. That's why I didn't really remember it. But I wonder, are they based on the same like source origin, or are they just sort of like? I wonder if like the rights to 18 Again is somehow connected to 17 Again, or. No, I bet they were just looked at it and they're like, oh, there's already one that's called 18 Again. We have to do 17 Again. Yeah. That's true. I don't think you can like copyright the concept, but you probably can't do 18 Again without being like, oh. Well, like if 17 Again was sort of somewhat of a blatant, like not a blatant redo, but done within the spirit of kind of. Although I should mention 18 again right now. If you search just 18 again on Google or whatever, like I ran into this multiple times this week, you're going to get a Korean 2020 South Korean TV show called 18 again. So, I mean, they didn't have problems. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Do I recommend 1988's 18 again? Yes, I do. I actually enjoyed this movie quite a bit. After I finished it, I was like, wow, that was a good movie. I like that. So yeah, I give it a heart. I say check it out. If you're jonesing for some George Burns, maybe watch this one last. I mean, I know we're doing it like third technically in our George Burns series here, but no, it's good. It's a good one, and then I look forward to checking out some stuff before he was 91 years old. Let's get a little bit younger George Burns next time. But it's just nice to watch stuff with him, especially on this podcast. It's just become a meme. It's just fun. It's like, oh, George Burns. It's time for old man who's like, I don't know how to describe him. He's like, is he witty? He's old and he has a wisdom to him. He has an old-timey wisdom, and he's funny. I don't know. How would you guys describe George Burns before we all end this shit? What is the reason we're watching the why would we even watch another George Burns movie? Why do we watch these? What's fun about this?
Well, I know one thing from this movie is that, much like David Lynch in The Return, George Burns still fucks. And I'm not going to say I'm not going to say like that's the big thing about him, but that's definitely one thing about him. And that's something that gets like brought up in interviews, like with Barbara Walters and shit, where she's like, why are you dating so many young women? And I don't know. Like it's a,
just look at the images behind me.
I have to assume,
or I guess it's this way.
This man probably owes a lot of his later life to Viagra. I would have to assume.
Yes, he does fuck. What about you, Spaghetti? You got any parting words on?
He was pre Viagra, so he was just a lot of stiff drinks.
Yeah, nice.
That's a George Burns joke. Oh, I think George Burns is just he's a really good timestamp of his era, and he if you look at his filmography, he was doing stuff all the way back to like vaudeville stuff. So obviously right then and there in this movie right here, he's a timestamp of yesteryear. That's the whole gimmick of this movie. And so now we are adding another layer on top of it now, a few decades removed from this, watching it, seeing it as a timestamp of the 80s, but then also the 80s observing a timestamp of what's it called? So George Burns is comedy Inception. But yeah, no, he definitely aged like a fine wine, and he's funny, he's witty, he's not afraid to be who he is directly. You could take him or leave him, but everybody wanted to take him, obviously. And I just think that now he was. I wouldn't say he was taken for granted in these movies because obviously he was a cherished treasure, but now I think it's grown with a little bit more cult kind of energy watching these again. I mean, obviously we have a cult embellishment for him, and probably a lot of people haven't watched this movie that much.
Not yet.
Hopefully there's a trend. I will say that I did see on Letterboxd that this is sort of notoriously low star bombed, but I was sort of like, I called those people out for what they are, and I said you can eat my dust on the track on Saturday, but I think it's just this is a movie that's taken for granted, but I think it could be watched again in a different light and appreciated for its wit. So yeah, it probably could get mixed in the bunch of 80s kind of cheesy, horny teen humor, but this has its own like different energy to it. And just George Burns in general is, there's a reason why they throw him in all these guidance roles, is because it's the wit of George Burns, but along with wit is intelligence, and so he's a good guiding character. So
yeah. I guess I should say that. Like, I'm pretty like negative. I'm a pretty negative person, and like I think I'm smarter than everybody. And when I see George Burns, I'm just like, I would love to hang out with this guy. I don't view him as lesser or anything. I'm like, this guy would teach me a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he's everybody's cool grandpa.
What was I gonna say? PD187, one of my favorite Letterboxd users, gave this movie 4 stars, and that's how I knew we were gonna do this. That's why I was like, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do this then, because it gets his sign off. So if you're listening, PD187, I love you. Keep reviewing stuff, and shout out. Check out PD187 on Letterboxd, and check out my buddy Spaghetti on Letterboxd. He is, I think it's B Bergman
11.
What is it? B Bergman 11.
Yeah, it sounds like an old man's generic AOL email, because I made it like way back when, where it's just like, what's my B Bergman 11?
Yeah, I feel you. All good. But we will have links in the description as well. You always check there. Follow Spaghetti on Letterboxd. We'll post some of his YouTube. I don't think you've been on YouTube very much recently, but we'll throw something up there.
Yeah.
And no, Spaghetti. Do you have anything to promote? Do you have anything going on?
Nah, I'm just doing the grind. No, just hanging out. I'm sort of, I still watch a lot of film, and I think I've burned and turned a lot of film to sort of create a good bubble. But now I'm sort of enjoying sort of the casual watching it as I come and go kind of thing. So
yeah, I'm glad you're burning yourself out for like years.
Yeah, I was writing essays. Yeah, I was writing essays forever, and I still do. Like, I think the thing is if you try to go cold turkey, then you always want to go back and smoke a cigarette. And so the difference is, don't go cold turkey. Always leave the door open that, hey, if I want to write more on a movie, I can. I don't have to shut it down fully. So I still just watch movies, and I just go more casual.
Yeah, you write a paragraph instead of 5 paragraphs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely get a paragraph done for a Letterboxd review, so you're doing more than I am. Even then. Adam, do you have anything to promote, buddy?
Everyone go and listen to Dan and Adam Are Afraid. That's what I got to promote.
Hell yeah. That's it, folks. The last thing we have to talk about is next week's movie. It is our holiday celebration month. And Adam, do you have a movie for next week?
Yes, I do, Dan. It's the holiday season, so I want to go ahead. A holiday classic for me, from the director of Are We There Yet from 2005. We're going to be watching Brian Levant's Jingle All the Way, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, fuck yeah. Hell yeah. That's so awesome.
When this shit came out, I was such an Arnold fan. We'll get into it next week, but yeah, I don't care how bad people say it is. This is one of my favorite Christmas movies.
Bad? Fuck. I don't know anyone who would say Jingle All the Way is bad.
Well, I'm excited.
That's
you got
awesome,
your nostalgia critic types who would put this movie down. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Those same people would not like 18 again. So
yeah, so this is the thing. We're the new people. We don't have to listen to the nostalgia. Dan and Adam is the new wave, and sincerity, loving George Burns, and loving Jingle All the Way. Join us next week and jingle with us all the way home. Jazz aliens? Yo, we from the planet Jazz. We're here to take over your honky asses, including you, host of the show.
Jazz alien Quano Bono invented the Big 5 sound.
Yo, we're taking you to hell. You could be in hell, bitch.
White monkey.
Yeah, my notes this week was just 3 words. This was one of those movies where I just sat down, watched, and just sort of got sucked into just watching it through an enjoyment kind of thing. So it's just sort of